Well, today for the matters of the heart, I want to talk about this one word that people do not like to be tried in, and it's patience. Ooh. You already said about food. A few years ago, I read this devotional by Joyce Meyer, and it said, "Sitting in the waiting room of life is not always easy." And that was so good to me. I had to print that out and just keep that as a reminder that, some seasons in your life, you're going to have to wait and you're going to have patience. And there are some things that you can do while you wait. You're not just sitting there, twirling your thumbs like, okay, Lord, when you're going to move, when you're going to do this. But in James 1:4, it says, "And let endurance," which is patience, "have its perfect result, and do a thorough work, so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking nothing." So you have to remember, when you're in that season of waiting, God is working on some stuff behind the scenes. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It may be a little delayed, but it's not denied. And it's maybe some things he needs to perfect in you so you can, you won't abuse it, or when it comes to pass, you won't mistreat it or anything like that. So one thing I just wanted to talk about also on the journey of waiting, we always say trust the process. Mm-hmm. Well, yes. I've never thought about it like this, but I heard a minister say, sometimes it could be two different paths and plans. They both could be right and be good. One may be short, one may be long. But you just have to make sure you're lining up with the will of God to make sure you're taking the path that he wants you to take. Right. Because, you don't want to run into unexpected detours and prolong a season in the wilderness. You're just waiting and going in a circle. You feel like I'm repeating the same cycle, the same thing over and over. How can I get off of this road? Right. But you have to just learn to just trust him and just wait patiently in him. So, ladies, I just want to ask you, when has there been a season in your life where you had to just wait and trust in God? Ooh. Several different things. Several. I will give an example. So I do know that God doesn't do things exactly when we think that they should be done. I remember thinking I was going to have kids like a long time ago. That's what I thought. I'm going to get kids. Well, that didn't happen. I ended up my husband and I did get pregnant, but we lost those babies before our miracle. And I had no idea why. He had no idea why. Doctors didn't have any idea why. But we had to patiently wait for God to heal us, because y'all, that hurt, to restore us. And then get this, God, we talk about God's time, and it's definitely different than ours, because he decided to actually give us our baby girl while I could not see. I was blind. I was in the middle, in the process. Wow. Trusting the process of having surgeries and healing. Wow. Having surgeries and healing. What can you see now? Going through all this, and I'm in the middle of this, right? Actually had just signed paperwork the month prior to have another surgery, like a month later, and had to call them and tell them that I had found out I was pregnant and I couldn't do that. And I thought, God, when I could see just fine, I was doing well, didn't have any health issues, I was fine. I was doing it. I thought I was going to be a mom and having I had been believing him. And I said, you give me a child while I can't see? Wow. But let me tell you about God. Spoiler alert. Today, I can see, even with the impairment still, I could see though. I couldn't see anything. Yes. So I can see. And he has given us the most precious little girl. Today, she is 3.5 years old. And just every bit of wonderful. Not only can I see, But I remember thinking, then God, how am I gonna take care of her? He's taught me how to take care of myself and how to take care of her and my husband, even with the deficits. So I had to wait on her, and she is just everything that I ever dreamed it would be in having a child. But I had to wait for it. Because the times, it was like those false starts. I was like, oh, get it. No. Oh, get it. No. And then the tears came because I got frustrated in the journey. Because I knew it was a promise. Well, what do we do with that? You know, when it's a promise and then it's not happening. But he's faithful. He did it. And she's here. And I'm here. So he worked it all out. He worked it all out.
So good. So good. Actually, I went through this recently. So I was in my 7th car wreck. It was not my fault. Most of the car wrecks I've been in were not my fault. I can drive. Okay. Set that straight. But it was in this vehicle, this truck that I loved. It was a truck that I prayed for. I was well into my payments, had a plan to pay it off early. Like, everything was good. And an uninsured distracted driver came and smacked me and my children in the back. Thankfully, by God's grace, everybody walked away. It ended up being a 5-car accident. Everybody walked away, but my vehicle was totaled. And the guy, you know, like I said, he didn't have insurance, so everything was on my insurance. By the way, get full coverage. It comes in handy. Full coverage. Don't do the bare minimum if you can. And so I was so frustrated. I was like, Lord, I done prayed for this truck. Like, I'm not in a position. When I got the vehicle, I had way more money to put down. And, you know, my credit was a little bit better because we were coming out of the holiday season. I, you know, kind of went crazy with my credit card, buying stuff for my kids. So, you know, when you increase your credit utilization, you know, it brings your credit score down a little bit. And so I was in the process of paying it off. Didn't have any savings. I done wiped out my savings at that point. And I was like, Lord, now I'm gonna have to get in a car that does not meet my standards. I don't want no little bitty Pinto, nothing. Like, I got used to my truck, and I got used to my leather, my sunroof, you know, everything. We done named the car. Like, that was our baby. And so I was so upset, so frustrated to have to start it over. The last time I went through that process, it was like a long 3-month process. It was just, it was so stressful. And so, I had to, you know, deal with the insurances, the police reports, all that good stuff. Finally got things rolling. The Lord put me in the path of some awesome representatives who made the process super easy. They were so accommodating. And so we get to the point where I finally get all my money in, the, you know, settlement and stuff. It's time to start looking for a car. I knew what I wanted, but I was like, dang. I don't think I got the money this time. It's just gonna work. So I was like, okay, Lord, you brought us out of this for a reason. Like, we literally, no one in the 5 cars had any injuries. So I was like, okay, Lord, so this is you all up in this. So what do you want? Whatever vehicle you want, I'll take it. Whatever you want for me and my family, what's gonna work best for us, you know what it's gonna do like for us in the long run, you know, financially, everything. Whatever you want, I'll take it. But in the back of my head, I was like, but I still like, you know, this. So anyway, and it's so good how the Lord knows our hearts, our desires, the things that we want. He wants to give those to us. And so we're shopping around. I go to the dealership. I see the vehicle I want, but the monthly payments it's a little bit high. So I go and shop around to some other dealers, different models, making models of the car. Didn't find anything in my price range for what I wanted, so I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to just like start over and probably just go ahead and have to settle for something a little bit less so I could, you know, still live. Still got bills to pay, gotta raise the kids, all that good stuff. And so as I was riding with my dad and my kids, so as we were heading back, we went to Memphis, we were heading back from Memphis. I got a text from the dealership where I wanted my first vehicle, and they were like, if we can get the payments down to this, can we do a deal? And I was like, absolutely. I done took the whole day off of work. I was like, look, we're gonna get this kind of day. And so we get there, we lay everything out, they run my credit, and they say, now mind you, I have like 4 different apps to check my credit. Our credit was saying 724. I was like, okay, I should get a good APR. Everything should be good. They ran my credit and said I had a 687. I said, who?
So excuse me?
Excuse me? Not mine. Like I had them go and double check and recheck my social, everything. Like y'all, that can't be it. That can't be it. And so they were talking about like a 7% APR. And I was just like, look, Lord, I can't do that. You already know I can't do it. So I was frustrated because as we were on the way back from Memphis to head to that dealership, I was just thinking about the car and how I wanted it. And so then I got the text and I was like, oh, this you, Lord. You lining everything up. And so then that happened. I was like, okay, so maybe that wasn't you. Like now I'm confused because I feel like I know your voice. Right. We got to understand when distractions try to come in and knock us off the path that the Lord has already in. Well, he's already said, that's what he said. And the enemy doesn't want us to reach that blessing. He doesn't want us to reach the full potential that the Lord has for us. And so fast forward, I just stopped. I stopped the shopping. It was too much. I didn't know where else to go. I felt like the Lord was telling me one thing to go to this one dealership. I was confused at that point. My parents didn't know nothing. I was going to them for, advice. What should I do? And they were just like, ask the Lord. And I said, I have, like so many times. So then came, there was something, I think it was a video I watched. It was a lady that said, if you're struggling and you're going through in life, why is your belly full? And she was referring to fasting. And you would be surprised how distracting food can be. So it's so important to get that fasting time in with the Lord to quiet the noise, quiet all the distractions, remove everything out, and just fully allow your spirit to seek his spirit. Fully seek his voice, seek his face, seek him, his kingdom. And so that's what I had to do, because at that point I had no other cards in the deck. I had nothing. And what I ended up doing was reading the full book of Job and how he lost everything. And I ended up feeling so bad because Job lost everything. And here I am crying about a car. And I was like, from a wreck that we came out of, okay, this man had lost his whole family, his kids. He covered in boils. He done lost all of his wealth. And so what stuck out to me was how he waited, his heart's posture during that time of suffering, that time of not knowing, not fully understanding, why. And so it led me to repent, because I did all the why me's, why did I go through this? Why everything was good? Why me? What was me? I had to repent and understand the beauty and the privilege it is to be considered, because God asked Satan, have you considered my servant Job? And so what I heard that, I think Pastor talked about that when I was like, oh,
come on,
that's me. So it completely changed my perspective. I've been considered. I was considered for this whole experience, from the wreck. And it was a whole thing even leading up to that. Like he was preparing me in the 2 or 3 o'clock hours in the morning a week before the wreck. And so, and he just put everything in place. It was all for his glory. That's the point. It was all for his glory. He knew I was going to be okay. He planned for everything to work out. So after the fast, I fasted for 3 days. The third day was the day that I had an appointment to go back to the dealership to get the car that I wanted. So the car that I wanted, I prayed for the monthly payments, the interest, everything, because I didn't want to end up paying a whole bunch of money later on, even though the monthly payments might be good right there, so all things considered. I went ahead and went up there. They sold their vehicle. I said, oh, well, doggone Lord. Okay, well, where you want me to go now? And he would let me leave. And turns out that they had another vehicle, same vehicle, but a higher trim, which means more bells and whistles. Okay. I originally didn't pay the vehicle no mind because I knew I couldn't afford it. But I told them, I was like, well, I did some things. I paid my credit card down since the last time I've been here. My credit is higher and everything's been reported to the bureau. So it should, even if y'all pull something a little bit lower, like it still should put me in a good APR. Maybe we can have a little wiggle room with the monthly payments and stuff. So they submitted my credit, and they scored me a tier 1, which is the highest credit. So I got like a 3.4 APR. And I was like, my God. I said, okay, so monthly payments, APR, everything is perfect. Took it for a test drive. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's everything. It worked out. And so I'm excited, but I'm thinking like, dang, this still it's a little more expensive than what I wanted to pay for. Like, I'm gonna have to, cut some things out. I'm gonna have to, make it do what it do, at least for a little while. 'Cause I'm still paying on credit cards and things like that. And so I sat down, Lord sat me down and had me to go through my budget and crunch all the numbers, all my expenses, all my income. Why does this monthly payment fit in perfectly? Perfectly with my income, perfectly with my bills. It was just such a aha moment of his blessings, and what he has for me is not something like when he gives it, that's it. There's nothing else for us to prepare for. Like, this was a right now blessing for me. Right. I don't have to do anything else. If there was a problem in the beginning, I was trying to do too much, too busy, trying to figure things out, work things out for myself. So I had to get quiet in that fasting time and allow him to have his way, let his will play out, get me out the way, because I mess it up every time. And so it was just such a beautiful, and on the other side of that too, I put down like half the money that I put down for my last vehicle. This is the same vehicle, Higher Trail. Half the money that I put down last time, and I had money left to save, to put in a high yield savings account that I have plans for investments later. Like, when I tell you them blessings come back double. When I read that at the end of Job, because baby, I have never read the full book of Job, but how he talked, when God gave him back double for his faithfulness and how he waited and how he didn't curse the Lord, how he stayed the course, even with the questions and wondering, he stayed faithful. How he gave back double. That's how he is. That's God's character. That's what he does. He wants to give us our desires. He knew exactly the vehicle I wanted, all the bells and whistles and everything I wanted. He let me have that. He gave that to me. And so
waiting on you.
Yes, and so it matters how you with that patience. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, this took way longer than what I planned, but patience, how we wait. We talked about that once, how you wait matters.
It does.
Matters. You have to acknowledge him. There was a time, last night, in the middle of this, I was waiting on some money, my taxes to come through. Usually when I have any type of payments coming through, my bank pins it. I checked it the morning that where my refund said it was supposed to be there. It was not there. I said, okay, Lord, because it was going to be part of my whole, fixing of my credit and all of that. I was like, okay, Lord, so I'm just going to wait on you, whatever. So I get to cooking breakfast, and I have this sudden urge to just praise. Turn on some praise music and dance and sing. Give Lord, all the glory and honor in that moment. So I did that. I come after the song, I checked my account and the money was in there. When nothing pinned in, it was just there. And I was just like,
won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
He had already done it.
Yes. Beautiful. So it matters how you wait. Patience. I'm sorry, I might have beat it up a bit, but
no, that is fine. You tell it how you need to tell it. And it's been told.
Yes. God is so good. So good.
You didn't do a thing but set me up, because that's actually exactly what I was about to say. We've had this conversation before, and I told her that I had heard something somewhere, someone was talking on a podcast or something, and they said it matters how you wait, and that is something that it has stuck to me. And I'm in the season of patience right now. And God has really been working on me with the experiences that I've had. So if you did not know, about a year ago, last year in May, I was laid off of my job all of a sudden. No warnings. No one said that I was not meeting my expectations. I thought things were good. I was coming up on a 2-year anniversary of being a graphic designer, and I thought things were great. And I was just completely laid off, let go. In 2 weeks, you're done. Figure it out on your own. But the crazy thing is, a week before they let me know that I was laid off, I had just purchased my food truck for my business. And so after that, I was just like, well, goodness, like, I know I have this business. It is my dream to do full-time entrepreneurship, but Lord, I was not ready to just not have a job in 2 weeks. Like, I wasn't ready. I have a past in teaching, so I've taught for 4 years prior, have a master's degree in teaching, so I've done that. But going into my last job of graphic design, I thought I was escaping teaching. I was finally free. At one point I had a huge passion for it, but it became difficult, and I felt like I could not spread my wings how I really wanted to. But little did I know is that God had something that was unfinished for me in teaching. And so after being let go, I was like, well, this is my backup plan. I have the license for teaching. And I was like, so I won't go without a job. But I was like, Tori, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go back to teaching, because I know how high the expectations are for expecting you as a teacher to do 1,000 things, and it is hard. You are responsible for people's children, and you are their main person for a whole day, 5 days a week. And I sucked that up, and of course everything else I was applying for, they didn't come through. But the teaching job, the Sunday night I put in the application, the next day I had the interview, and I also had the job. And so I was like, God, well, obviously you want me to go back to this. And what I've learned is, in your season of being patient, waiting on God, is that instead of being so complaintive and upset about your situation, your circumstances, being anxious about it, how about you just ask God, well, God, like, what is your assignment for me during this time? Yeah. So instead of being upset about going back to teaching, I shifted my mindset, and I just started praying and asked God, well, God, since you have me in this situation, please reveal to me, what is my assignment during this time? What do you want me to do? Well, what exactly do I need to accomplish here? Because obviously it's unfinished business. And when I say, God, I'm ready to tackle the assignment that you have given me. Of course, this isn't my dream thing to do, the dream circumstance, but you know what? Since you have me here, I want to do the work that you want me to do, and I want you to reveal it to me. And then after continuously asking him to reveal it to me, then I started to see why he had me there. There are specific students, specific children that I want you to impact in this type of way. I want you to have these type of conversations. I want you to plant this seed with that student within their business. And so after I was open up to that, I was like, okay, God, I see. Yeah. I see this is hard, but I see why you brought me back. And I also know that it's not the end all be all. I won't be here forever, but I have a better understanding of why you brought me back. So after asking him what the assignment was, then it was way easier to be patient.
Right, until you get the release. Mm-hmm. Until you get the release. Mm-hmm. Yes. We gotta stay until we get the release. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so good. I tell you, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
And so, if I, just to wrap all that goodness up, as Arnika said, ask God, what is it you're trying to show me in this season while I'm sitting in the waiting room of life? And while you're in there, make sure you remember, don't compare your journey with someone else's. You're on the path that God wants you to be on. So always seek him in everything.
Yes. Oh, so good. Well, on today, for Grow Your Glow, I want to ask you, can single women live a soft life with no man?
Ooh, that's spicy.
And what do we have to say about that?
The answer is yes, absolutely. What the Lord showed me was that I had to get to know him as a father, as a friend, and as a husband. And so when I think of singlehood, single woman, single mother, I think about the burdens, the life's expenses, my children's, home and car maintenance. I had to be the nurturer and the disciplinarian of the children, and I'm the protector of the household. And so a lot of those things you would look for in your husband, in the man of the house. And so when I finally came to the realization, like, dang, this is all on me. Like, this is a lot. And I didn't feel like it was fair. And so that anger over time turned to bitterness. And so I had no real release. I had no escape at the time. I didn't realize, the Lord's just waiting on me with his hands out to give it to him. But I didn't see that. I didn't even have no real relationship with him at that point. At that point, all I knew was to go and get me a sip, go out to the club, go find me somebody to keep me company, and wake up and everything should be a little bit better, should feel a little bit better. And it never worked out that way. I was always feeling worse the next day. So those temporary void fillers is what I call them. Please don't be deceived. That's not true joy. That is not an escape. That is bondage. Mm-hmm. It's a distraction. It is deception. It is bondage. So in my alone time with the Lord, once I rededicated my life to him and I, began to invite him in and release and share the things that have been stressing me out for so long. He showed me the power of releasing. So it's not just that you're talking to a blank wall. He is absolutely listening. He has been watching. He already knows. But the verbal, the actual action of releasing to him is the key to allowing him to go ahead and have his way in your life. That's the key to opening up that intimacy. But because now, he created us with our own will. Free will to choose whether to walk with him or to do our own thing. And so when we actually give him verbal access to step in and take control, that's when he wants to do it. Sometimes he does things on his own will, out of grace and mercy with us walking in sin, he'll cover us still. But as far as growing in our relationship with him, he waits on us to give him that open door. And so in releasing my cares to him, he showed me what it meant to have his protection, to have his provisions, his comfort, for him to be a confidant, a safe place. He showed me true companionship. I was finding myself going out on dates with Jesus. I was, on my lunch break. Yeah, so on my lunch break, going out to get some macarons and some, some fruit teas and get my word. And we just be like, we really be on a date. And you can actually hear back from him. He's there. Like you wouldn't think. And it's just so funny. I laugh now because 3 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be in this position talking about having dates with the Lord. Who you pray to him, you ask him for what you want, and then you go about your business. That's what I understood, having a relationship with the Lord to be. But it's so much more deeper. It's so beautiful to be in real communion with him. He became a teacher. He taught me things about myself, just as a person and as a woman. He began to mold me into the being that he originally created me to be. He showed me in hindsight how he covered my children, even in my womb. I was still, hot out there, in the street. I was in a relationship, but, I was still living fast while I was pregnant. And so he covered my children in a way that really I didn't deserve. They deserved it, absolutely, but I didn't deserve his protection and his covering, how he, hid some things from the world. And my children are gifted. By the way, Tristan and me, yes, they're amazing, amazing. He corrected me with love. In my 20s, I said way back that I had been a survivor of domestic violence. I didn't really, outside of my parents, being corrected with love was not a thing. You do something wrong, you say something wrong, it's finna be a knockout, drag out fight. You finna get cuts clean out, you finna get belittled. And to combat that, I developed some really toxic ways of reacting to that. And so to have that space and grace with the Lord, to learn at a slow pace, because he had to take his time with me. I was slow to get it. I was slow coming into him, slow catching his lessons, and he just held my hand the whole way. And that was the most beautiful thing that I had ever felt. I think the closest thing to that was my parents. And so anything outside of them, that didn't exist. And so for him to correct me with love showed me that I didn't truly understand what love was. He would also do little things like gift me with things that I would in my spirit, I'd think dang, I want that. The flowers are pretty, and somehow, some way, I would end up with whatever that was. And it'll be nothing that I would tell anybody about. It'd just be stuff I'm like, dang, I like that. I would like that for myself, And he would somehow, some way get it to me. And I just feel like, dang, you really be watching me. You be
That's just
listening. You got me blushing. It is crazy. It is crazy, but that's him. He loves us so much. He's so detail oriented. He's such a good listener. It's nobody like him. It's nobody like him. And so all of the qualities that he has showed me, all of his characteristics are things that you would typically look for in a husband. And not even just in a husband, in a father and in a friend, the protection, the provisions, the comfort, the teachings, everything that he is, he's Adonai. He is the I am, the great I am. He is everything that we need. Everything. And so it takes me to Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So the releasing of the burdens of our everyday responsibilities, the rest, they give you rest. The rest is where you are able to achieve that soft life. That's where you obtain the soft life. That's where the softness comes in. We don't have to carry the weight of all the responsibility. Yes, they need to be taken care of, but the stressing, the worrying, the fear, the busyness of trying to get everything taken care of, if we would just stop and acknowledge the Lord in it first, acknowledge what he wants, acknowledge his will, everything else will fall into place.
Yes.
Every single thing will fall. My kids are well taken care of. I'm so thankful for my village and my parents. Bills are paid. They're happy. I'm happy. Like it just, all the things that I used to stress about, he has taken care of and then given me more on top of. And so it's so important as single people, because this really isn't just for single women, it's for men too. It's so important to develop a level of intimacy with the Lord where you can talk to him throughout the day about anything. I said it before, he wants to be invited into the small parts, to, what you want to eat for the day, what you're going to wear for the day, what car to choose, as well as the large decisions, what health advice should I take? What should I do for this job? Things of that nature. He cares about every single aspect of your life. Getting that special time with him, your secret place, getting to your secret place, praying, talking to him, being quiet so you can listen, reading his word, learning who he is. We can't even really truly address him and get to know him for who he is if we don't even read his words. Right. So we have to take that time to get intimate with him and allow him full reign. So, ladies, have you learned the Lord or gotten to know him as more than just God? What does it look like for y'all?
While you were talking, I was thinking back to a period of my time when I was a single lady, and I knew there was more. And I didn't want to take on this life that I gotta be tough, I gotta do everything. So that's when I think my relationship with God, became stronger. I started depending on him more as, not saying like a husband, but, he's my provider, my protector. And I think that helped me to get in line to be prepared to be a wife later. So, that's where.
Yeah, I was just grinning and giggling all while you were talking, because I was thinking about that time, because it's not still, it is true. And God kind of just wooed me into that during the period where I went from being with someone to by myself again, going, okay, God, I didn't know that this was going to be a failed portion of my life. Now what? Because I had all these hopes and dreams and desires. And he did the same thing. And the thing about wanting to, I would think of something or want something, or just, it would be something small. And he would make sure that I have it. And then that's when I started realizing, he wants to spend more time with me in a different way. He started to deepen our relationship. And then here's the thing. He was actually preparing me and showing me what he truly wanted for me. I tell my husband, I said, before I ever knew you, God prepared me for you and you for me. But he showed me, you are a reflection of God's heart for me. Because everything that the Lord was doing for me and how he treated me and what he was showing me during that time, my husband's my quiet strength is what I call him. He's quiet and reserved to other people, but how that man prays for me, he takes care of me, how he shows up for me, how he loves me, how he takes care of our daughter, how he took care of me. That man had to lead me around by the hand for years. as I'm trying to figure out, like, we trying to figure out my body, my health, and surgeries, and he was there the whole time. God knew who was built for my journey, and he showed me prior to him even coming what type of character he was going to have by my time with him, with Jesus. My time with him showed me who he was going to send, and when he sent him, I thought, wow. Because you know how you think this doesn't exist, right? How good God, this doesn't exist. What human? Now, don't get me wrong. My husband's not perfect, neither am I. But we're perfect for each other, and God knew exactly what I needed and how I needed. My husband helps keep me grounded. These girls, I get excited. These balloon strings go all over the place. You know, I might be feeling some type of way. He does this right here, quite quietly. Pull all of them down, get the bouquet together, tie it in a neat bow, and we keep it moving. But before I got to this point, when I was over there in that point, that's what God did. He had me giggling and blushing too. I'm like, huh. And let me tell you, I don't know, single light, let me tell you something God did for me. And you got to trust him on this. He had me prepare for my husband, but he started giving me things to prepare for my wedding, for my honeymoon, and for my life with my husband. This was like the older days, baby. I had me a whole little chest, stuff hanging up in the closet, and it was for me to believe him in faith that he was going to do it. Wow. I almost didn't believe it when he showed up. I'm like, are you serious, God? Is this for real? My husband rode in on a white horse, picked me up, and he hadn't put me down since. We working on 8 years, and we're going to keep on.
Period.
But God showed me that I had to let him right with you, because I was Miss Strong, doing everything for everybody, had to be everything, had to do everything. Every T had to be crossed, every I had to be dotted. I had to be together. Like, you couldn't have a moment to break down. If you broke down, everybody else, the whole world about to fall apart. So anyway, during that time, during my life too, so that means you're getting ready for a whole bunch of great stuff. Because once God shows you what you need, he's like, you know what you're looking for. So if something else presents itself and it don't look like this, you can keep on walking.
Right.
You can keep on walking. If it look halfway like that, you know what I mean? If it looks halfway like that, but it's not quite right, you can keep on walking. So look, I was like TD Jakes, you get ready. Like, you gotta get ready. God prepared me. Wow. He's preparing us. He prepares you. He prepared you. That soft life is a good thing while you single, and while you married, when you have someone that when he actually is the head of the household, and will be the husband and the protector and the covering. And you can do what we've been designed to do. And I don't mean old fashioned, like, oh, you got this role, that role. We help each other out. We got each other's back, right? Yes. But we still got a hierarchy to this thing. It's God, it's my husband, it's me, and it's our child. And when all that's in alignment, it's all good in the neighborhood, baby. Period. All good. All right, I'm done.
That was really good. And segueing from two women that are married, and then you are in your singleness and God is preparing you for your husband. I am in an area of, I know that my future husband is with me. He's my partner. Now, so I am not married. I have a partner, we're dating. But I still find myself having the experience of God bringing me that soft life with the relationship with God, even though I am dating someone. So even with, not being single, I still have that relationship with God where I get to have that soft life. And what I have seen is that God coming into my life and allowing me to be soft in those different aspects, it's replacing the other unnecessary stuff that I used to enjoy. So like going out to the lounges with my friend girls and having drinks and going out, being out late and just hanging out and, doing whatever. When I was in Memphis, I would go to the skating rink. We would go to the skating rink every Wednesday, and we're drinking before the rink to pregame. We having fun. We out till 11:30. We got to be at work the next day. But boy, was I having a time. Like, I was single. I was talking, whatever, dating. But that was like my lifestyle. But now that I have God and He's allowed me to like just relax and rest in Him, and He's giving me the ability to be soft, I don't even have a desire to do that stuff. I don't have a desire to go out and drink, to go to the skating rink, or go to wherever else I was going to the lounge. I don't have a desire. And like even with my segment next, I'm going to talk about certain things in moderation. But I think about the fact that as God has come into my life and placed new things inside of me, it just automatically takes away the desires of old things. And so he's allowed me to just be soft. And I know my future husband always tells me, he's like, I can't wait to give you the ability to just live soft and stay that way. Like, I can't wait to give you that. Yeah, like, yeah. And he says that to me, like, I am working my way up to give you the ability to be soft and stay soft. I can't wait to give my wife that. And so so God has sent me a man that's going to allow me to have that soft life, and I have God, and I can be soft with him. Yes. So.
Wow.
Yes. It's so good. So yes, you can indeed achieve and obtain a soft life without a partner. It's so important to recognize God is the standard of love. Everything that he is, his attributes, it's even in his names. He is love. He is Jehovah Jireh, our provider. He is El Roy, the God who sees us. He is Jehovah Shalom, our peace. He is everything, everything. And so allow yourself space and grace. Release your burdens. Develop some intimacy time with the Lord. Allow him in on everything. Everything. Watch what he does for you.
Oh. Yes. That was too good.
I like that segment. Okay. So I am here to make sure you stay happy, healthy, and whole. And today I want to talk about in moderation or not. So I was on the social media and I saw a reel where a lady was talking about, so y'all know I'm about the health stuff. I like the natural things, natural remedies, trying to make better choices. Now, we're not going to be able to just take out everything in the world and everything we consume is perfect and healthy. Like, there's no way that we can't escape everything, but we can, be intentional and make some better choices. And so this lady was talking about how, I don't drink like that anymore, but here and there, I may have a glass of wine here and there. But now they just came out with this research where wine, alcohol, all the vodkas and the tequilas and the wine, has a very high percentage of carcinogens. And carcinogens are cancer-causing elements. And so even with just having a glass of wine, you are still indulging and intaking in something that is very dangerous for your body. Even they say, they make us think that, okay, well, wine, it's not, too bad. It's better than drinking vodka or, tequila. But at the same time, if I have that information and I know that this thing, this substance is very dangerous for my body, it has a high opportunity of causing this in my body, what should I do with that information? Like, should I still do it in moderation, or should I completely be like, no more of this? And so that made me think, like, at what point with certain things should we do that in moderation or not at all? And it's something that I've been working with myself, because like I just talked about, is as I get closer to God, as I continue to read his word, there are some things that I just straight up and down don't have the desire for anymore. And then there may be some things that I may do it here and there, but it's like, well, Lord, should I just completely let this go? Or how do I know if I should completely ex-nay or it's okay? And I know I've done 2 months where I've done the Proverbs challenge. I don't know if you want to call it challenges. I'm just, trying to read my Lord's word. And I was reading a chapter of Proverbs every day for the whole month. And if you have interested in doing that, I would try it. Just read a chapter a day, go along with the days. It's day number 1, read Proverbs 1. And there are some scriptures in there that does, because God never says like, no, don't drink wine. That's the whole thing. People like, well, God turned water into wine. Like, wine is okay. And no, he doesn't really ever say not to drink wine, but he does advise us with the wisdom in Proverbs of, if you are a king, if you are somebody that is looking for clarity and information from God, wisdom from God, stay away from the wine. Don't be drunk. That causes you to not think clearly. You cannot lead my people with being drunk. And so if he does say that, then is he giving us a warning about indulging and intaking some of these things, even though, he doesn't say, never drink wine. But he also, he puts that hint like, be wise with your choices. And if you are trying to have a certain standard, then maybe stay away from that. And he also says some things about, wine for certain people. There are some people that need that escape because of the level that they are on. But if you are up here and I want you to be a king, then I need you to be completely clear, like at all times. So that just makes me think about, well, Lord, how do I know with certain things when it's okay in moderation or I just need to completely stop? So I want to ask you all that question about, what do you think about that? How do you know when to completely cut the thing off or, this is okay in moderation?
I got 2 things, and the first thing that came to my mind was my body's a temple. Mm-hmm. We only get one body. Yeah, I can have cosmetic surgeries and change my nose, my lips, and all these different things, but still, you only have one body. And as someone who struggled with alcohol, it's a line I choose not to cross, because it's like it's almost like the Pringles or the Lay's, whatever, which one it is. You have one, you just can't have one. You want another one. So I just have to draw the line there. Remember, my body's a temple. I struggled with this before, and it's easy to fall back into something that you've been delivered from. It takes you a while to come out of it, but you can easily fall right back into that. And so it's just like, if I struggle with it, no.
That does make sense, and that's a great way to discern whether or not you need to be doing something. It also reminds me, we talked in another episode about the Romans chapter 14. Mm-hmm. Again, there are some people, they can handle that. Now, granted, you just told me a whole something. I don't know if the other ladies knew, but I didn't know it had carcinogen, properties in it. I was the one, y'all, that tried to drink and couldn't. I guess God knew what he had me set up for years later. I tried. I was like, I don't like this. Okay, that's a bummer. Friends like, hey, you want a wine cooler? You want a this and that. And then they had some pretty drinks. I'm like, oh, what is that? Tried to drink it. Can't handle it. He put that in me. So unfortunately for me, when it comes to alcohol, now that's not my thing, right? So I don't have a problem saying no, right? But with having different health issues that, Craig was like, okay, well, what's good that maintains this health issue and keeps you healthy doesn't work for this one or this one, but I got all 3 of them. Okay, God, now what? In moderation or not all. So what I've learned is that I can't, whatever I'm doing, if it's something that I see my body can handle. Now, we're not talking about alcohol, people. We've jumped off of that, okay? we can talk about food and other things. Yeah. But if I see my body can handle it with a little bit, then I can keep it in my diet or keep it in my regimen. But if I see that when I do this thing, or when I have this, or when I do it, that it's affecting me negatively, then I know I gotta cut it out. The Holy Spirit will lead me to know whether I need to keep walking this way or turn and go this way, because this isn't working for you. But that's been a trial and error thing for me, y'all. It hasn't been, and then trying to say that what's going to work for one person is going to work for them. That's why I said that Romans chapter 14, what works for one person may not work for another one. Someone else may say, God is covering me. One glass every once in a while won't hurt. If that's the way they feel, what can we do about it? But here we go. God gives us wisdom, so you drop knowledge, right? So now that we know better, we should do better, right? But that's still going to be according to each of our personal walks with God. He brings us information, and once we learn something, sometimes we're hard-headed. And he had to snatch that thing from us. And the way that he snatched it from, he tried to do the nice thing, but we gentle pruning, but we didn't get the message. The first 3-4 times he did it, so he's like, okay, now I got to prune you. I got to get the big shears, and I got to snatch this thing out of your hand. If you won't let it go, I got to pry it out your fingers. Yeah. And those lessons don't feel good. I raised my hand. I've had some of those. Those lessons do not feel good. And when you get through, you in tears, in the floor, and the Lord still got to console you, put you back together, and then guess what? You still got to let go. Still got to take your hands off of the thing that he said, this is just a no for you. This you can do when it's over. This right here, this is a no for you.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Moderation. So, as I stated before, I did used to abuse alcohol and drugs. I mean, there was one point where I drank literally every day for a year and some change. And it led me to developing pancreatitis, which probably was, next to childbirth, the worst pain I've ever felt. So I had to stop. Got in the gym, got healthy. Once everything hit, all my numbers got back to normal and stuff. Started trying to drink a little bit again. But it also turned out to be an issue of my diets, like fried foods and things like that can irritate the lining of your pancreas and flare that up too. Flared up again, had to go through the whole healing process and all that. And so I just cut it out for a while, like some years. And I'm gonna say probably the last couple of years, for special occasions, celebrating somebody's birthday. They would have like the group champagne toast, or like for a celebratory dinner or something. Everybody's getting like a glass of wine. I would do that, and I didn't have any adverse effects. But I noticed one drink. I'm good and tipsy. It hit me hard. One drink. Like, people be throwing them back. I used to throw them back. But now, one drink, instantly drunk. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, Lord. So I think you really want me to stop this, and I think you really been, patient with me, and I appreciate that.
That no, right?
Yeah, I think this is the no. And that's really where I am now. I think the last time that I had some alcohol, it was a champagne toast for a close family friend. It was back in I think maybe November or something like that. And I had to, I don't even think I could finish the whole drink. Like, I had to sip it, and I started feeling it. And I was like, okay, okay, Lord, I'm sorry. And so I think it really comes down to being able to hear the Lord's voice and recognize his signs. Some things they're not going to work for you. Especially if you have already had a history of abuse, and you have to know you can't cross that line anymore. You tiptoeing the line. God don't even operate like that. So go ahead, accept it, move on forward. That's where I am now. It was a little hard to accept. I'm not even going to hold you.
Right, it takes us a while to catch up.
It takes
I'm telling you.
Yes, it takes a while to accept too, because I like wine. I mean, I like it. It's chill. It's a nice little relaxing, drink. For the longest, it made me feel like classy and sophisticated.
Come on, get those mocktails with me, girl.
That's what I said I was gonna try that. I need to try some mocktails. So
all you have to do is put some loaded juice in a wine glass.
Well, you can do that too.
That's for the next session. some little martini and wine glasses with your loaded juice in it.
Get your sophistication.
Yeah.
But see, I do this. I have learned how to make me pretty drinks, honey. I make them pretty, but you won't get tipsy, okay?
I love it.
Loaded juice.
I love it. We can do that. I like that. That's a cute idea.
And if you really want to get fancy, put your little garnish, little lime.
Yeah, cut your strawberry.
Yes.
Y'all Look, hold on and wait for that. We might have to do that for real.
That's a cute idea.
Yeah, so I thank you all for sharing that about in moderation or not, and I think those tidbits were really helpful. So if you're someone that is thinking about if there's something I need to stop or something I can handle in moderation, it's something to think about.
Ooh, today has been good. Wouldn't y'all agree? Oh, so much rich conversation. Starting with the interview with Apostle Dr. Angela Banks, and then you ladies, y'all served it up today. I tell you, look, matters of the heart, patience. We are still a work in progress. So keep praying for us and we'll pray for y'all. Yes. But some wonderful, wonderful nuggets were shared. They're talking about patience with matters of the heart. Y'all, we're going to get these levels of modesty and we're going to learn that you can be cute, you can be covered, you can be sassy, and you can be chic, and you can honor Jesus, period. All right, so we're going to get that message and hopefully everyone else will get it too, right? Oh, y'all, let me tell you, can you live a soft life with no man? You heard it here today, folks. It was, you heard it. The testimonies are here. Yes. You can. And Jesus will show you exactly what you need to look for. Yes. Right? Oh, in moderation or not at all? How many of us are going to go take a few things off our list? Like God just said, we can't do this at all. Yeah. Have a talk with your Father. And he'll let you know. It was amazing. You've taught us something today because I certainly learned something today. I did not know that about the alcoholic beverages, and I want to tell everyone that I know it might not be my thing, but I know some people that it is their thing, so I want to share it with them as well. It's been amazing today, and I want to thank you ladies for the great conversation, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Now you know where to find us on Facebook and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to tell a friend, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.